good fight right there. I like it. I respect your skills. You know, pretty good for 21-0, huh?
Canelo vs. Plant has kept so many boxing fans busy, and so has the Canelo vs. Plant post-fight. Saul Canelo Alvarez is the first ever undisputed world champion at 168 pounds, yet Caleb Plant made it awkward for the Mexican, showed some skill. We know Caleb Plant can box, can move smoothly inside the ring. However, as Canelo vs. Plant also proved, Caleb Plant does not have the power to trouble, much less hurt, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Even though Sweet Hands, standing at 6'1", had the height and reach advantage, Canelo was able to get to Caleb Plant, break him down with a Joe Frazier-like leaping left hook in round 11, which started the end for the now former IBF super middleweight world champion. So I pray that Caleb Plant will make a full recovery in Christ's name, take some time off, and then answer today's question: what is next for Caleb Plant? Hey, what's going on, Ringsiders? This is your host, Boxing's Objective Observer, and welcome back to Ringside Stories. Feel free to subscribe, thumbs up, and hit that notification bell for the latest here on Ringside Stories. Thank you so much for your support in advance, and welcome to the channel. As much as boxing fans pose the question, what will Saul Canelo Alvarez do next? Defend his undisputed crown at super middle or go up to light heavyweight, which we will discuss soon. Today we will focus on what is next for Caleb Plant. Let's say in the case Canelo does move up and vacates his belts at 168, what would that mean for Caleb Plant? Does Sweet Hands have it in order to come back from the Canelo loss and become a two-time super middleweight world champion? As I stated in my Canelo vs. Plant post-fight analysis, I wouldn't advise Caleb Plant to move up to light heavyweight, as I think he won't have the power to trouble any of the current light heavyweight world champions. And honestly speaking, Caleb Plant might even struggle against some other top contenders in the 168-pound division. So today we'll discuss three options for Caleb Plant's comeback fight, assuming he'll make a full recovery and indeed decides to come back at 168. Let's get into it. Number 1, Anthony Dirrell. As the chief support for Canelo vs. Plant, Anthony Dirrell made a statement delivering a right uppercut from hell, knocking out Marcos Hernandez in the 4th round. Even at 37 years old, the dog could make it a tough fight for Caleb, as Anthony Dirrell is an aggressive come-forward fighter, yet not as defensively sound as Canelo. If Caleb Plant would face Anthony Dirrell next, we might see some improvements and the lessons that Sweet Hands has learned from the loss against Canelo on November 6, 2021. So Plant versus Dirrell is an interesting stylistic matchup, and at least from Anthony Dirrell's point of view, there's some bad blood between the two.
Just don't like him, man. He just arrogant. I mean, you know, when you're in a fight, of course, you be disrespectful, you do what you need, but how he acts is just unreasonable. It just doesn't sit well with me, and that's a lot of fighters. I mean, look at Canelo. You never seen Canelo act like this. He just an asshole. It is what it is. If he didn't have that belt, he wouldn't be fighting. He got the belt at the right time. Period. He fought people. He fought bums after he got the belt. Period. Everybody's seen it. And anybody in 68 could have stopped them people.
Anthony Dirrell dispatched of Plant's previous opponent, Caleb Truax, back in 2016 inside half a round, whereas Caleb Plant at the start of 2021 took the then 37-year-old Truax the full distance. Also, Dirrell has a loss against Plant's rival and undefeated former two-time WBC super middleweight champion of the world, David Benavidez. Would Caleb Plant do a better job than Benavidez if he were to fight Anthony Dirrell next?
I don't want to fight him if he loses. It's pointless. I mean, what's the point? Like I said, I'm 37, man. I can't keep fighting for nothing. Like, I'm fighting for nothing. My eye is set on the belt. That's it.
So although an interesting proposal of a fight, the likelihood of Caleb Plant versus Anthony Dirrell happening anytime soon is not so high. Number 2, Danny Jacobs. Sure, after his decision loss to Canelo in May of 2019, in which Daniel Jacobs lost his share of the 160-pound world championship, the Miracle Man hasn't fought the greatest of opposition. Neither has he been the most active as of lately. In his first step up to super middleweight, Danny Jacobs made Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. quit in the corner after round 5. At the end of 2020, Jacobs bested veteran Gabe Rosado by split decision in what was an unimpressive outing.
I thought I could have did a little bit better. Atmosphere was a little weird, no fans, nothing to really pump you up, but it's my fault. We had a great camp, and I obviously didn't show everything that I needed to. He's a game opponent. I didn't think it was that close by far, But at the same time, I guess me being a little stagnant makes the judges a sore decision. So.
A fight with Caleb Plant would be a battle of two fighters who drew the short end of the stick in both their fights against Saul Canelo Alvarez. Danny Jacobs hasn't been in a world title fight since the Canelo loss, yet as a super middleweight, he's currently ranked number 5 with the WBA, number 3 with the WBC, and number 2 in the WBO rankings. Daniel Jacobs is getting up in age, though I wouldn't say he is shot just yet. And so a win over the Miracle Man would be a good scalp for Caleb Plant, who is a talented fighter, yet has rightfully been criticized for his lackluster resume so far. One could even make a compelling argument that Caleb Plant lacked fights against the likes of Danny Jacobs in the lead up to the undisputed world title fight against Canelo.
I would probably put Plant at the bottom of those names that you just named.
Really?
Benavidez, yeah. I think Plant is good, but I think he's, he can be beat. He's beatable. I see a lot of flaws in his game.
Danny Jacobs is a good fighter, and he's been around for a while, but he's more of an athletic fighter. You know, he fights more off his athletic ability. He's been beat, he's been in some tough fights, and I just don't think that he's, an A-class fighter. So the fight that he's asking for, he's the one who messed up the fight. He could have this fight, because I would love to fight him. I'll put a boxing lesson on him.
So now Jacobs has had 2 fights to adjust to his new weight class, and Caleb Plant just failed to become undisputed world champion, yet cashed in. So why not take a fight against a quality opponent who was a world champion and is still considered a world level contender? A win over Danny Jacobs would boost Caleb Plant's record dramatically. Number 3, David Benavidez. The fight that would garner the most interest is Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez.
Something about my brother, and we seen him at the gym. And my brother, he's a street dude, he likes all that. So when my brother goes up to him, they're talking shit to each other. My brother's pushing him, but he's behind his trainer, so he's like, he'll be behind my dad.
Take your ass back over there. Take your ass back over there.
Caleb Plant like sucker punches my brother. But then my friend right here gets Caleb Plant in his mouth too, and then this trainer starts getting into it. But I feel bad, because they started beating up on his trainer.
For years, both David Benavidez and Caleb Plant threw shots at each other.
I mean, if he can get and keep his world title, he got to be able to keep it though. So he got to keep his nose clean.
He talks like he's a killer, but look at his record, man. He's 20-0 with 11 knockouts. Like, bro, you don't hit like that. You don't hit like a killer. Stop trying to act like you want. You know what I mean? If you really talk that shit like you do, you would lay people out. You stop people, but you don't do that. At the end of the day, he's a pussy. All he does is run around. You know what I mean? That's the fight. Why do you think you don't want to see me? That's the fight I've been asking. I call his promoter. I tell everybody.
Of course he's saying that. He's desperate, but he's going to have to wait in line like a good little boy off to the side, because I got my fight on January 30th, and then I got bigger fish to fry with Canelo after that, and then I'll get to him when I get to him. He's on my shit list, and I will get to him. But until then, he's going to have to wait off to the side like a good little boy, because he didn't do what he was supposed to do again. He's going to have to wait.
Why is he fighting a guy in Caleb Truax that didn't even make it to the title eliminatory fight instead of fighting the former WBC world champion? Who wants to see Caleb Plant and Caleb Truax? Not me, but ask anybody who wants to see David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant.
We could have done that when he had a world title and made a unification out of it, but they wanted to keep waiting, and then he loses his world title again for a second time.
I try to be quiet, but these motherfuckers keep talking like they're the shit, or like they're really hitters like that when they're not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like Truax
I try to be
like,
humble, man.
Go ahead.
I try to be humble, bro, but these people don't let me be humble. So, if I gotta fuck everybody up, that's what I'm gonna do.
Before all that, Caleb Plant and David Benavidez were regarded as the future at 168.
2 of the youngest dudes in the whole division, and neither one of us are scared of nobody.
Gotta fight everybody.
I know you want to fight me.
Yeah, of course I want to fight you.
You think I want to fight you?
Of course you want to fight me.
Absolutely. But it's the other things. They trying to build us up, right? I get that.
When he gets his IBF title, I'm going to take it from him. Every time you fight somebody, they say you don't hit hard. I put people in the hospital. That's what I do.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I'm his manager.
Absolutely.
That's his dad, too.
The contract. We want to fight you. Man, that would be a great fight.
Absolutely. Look, this is one of the greatest offensive boxers in all the boxing right now.
Respect.
But you're also looking at one of the greatest defensive boxers in all the boxing.
Respect.
say that, man.
So this is a stylistic matchup that the people want to see, and it's coming to you. He wants to give it to you. I want to give it to you. But it don't happen overnight. I understand the man want me to get the IBF next. I have to wait my turn like everybody else. There's a season for everything. I understand that. I've been waiting patiently, but I want it. He know I want it. I wouldn't have hopped out at the press conference if I didn't want it. So just wait patiently. Be patient with this. We're trying. It's going to take a little bit of time.
Can we get a face off really quick?
We can face off.
All right, let's go face off. Let's go. I got the parking lot home.
You can fight, but you're an ugly motherfucker.
Caleb Plant is absolutely correct. David Benavidez is a fan-friendly, hyper-aggressive, and explosive puncher who is the youngest ever 168-pound world champion, never lost his belts in the ring, and is still undefeated as of this recording. Then we got Caleb Plant, who is the complete opposite to David Benavidez. Marvels at fighting on the back foot, is defensively sound, and is a skilled pure boxer, which he proved somewhat in his step up at the elite level. So stylistically speaking, Benavidez-Plant is an intriguing matchup with bad blood between the two camps. I personally would love to see David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant next, regardless if it's for any world title, regardless of their respective records. Now that's future talk. Let's pray Caleb Plant makes a full recovery. These are just my thoughts. What are yours? Who would you like to see Caleb Plant fight next should Sweet Hands come back in 2022? Drop your ideas in the comments below and let's have a conversation. If you're new to this channel, we cover boxing and combat sports through mini documentaries, backstories, and much more. So if you enjoy that type of content, feel free to subscribe, thumbs up, and hit that notification bell for the latest here on Ringside Stories. Thanks in advance and welcome to the channel. If you've done that already, you're awesome. We already know that you are the true undisputed world champion. Till next time, Ringsiders, this is your host, Boxing's Objective Observer with Ringside Stories. Thanks for watching and have a legendary day.